Welcome back. Big story segment here. Now, across Nigeria, waste management remains a pressing issue, but one man has taken it as an extraordinary effort by himself to approach it to tackle the crisis. As an attempt for me trying to sound all superhero, but it's not working. In any case, Jonathan Olakunle, famously known as Nigerian Spiderman, has dedicated himself to cleaning up the environment. Now, often seen in his superhero suit while picking up trash in public spaces, his efforts have not only drawn attention, but also have sparked conversation on civic responsibility and the role of individuals in keeping cities clean. Despite the admiration and support from many Nigerians, Jonathan's mission has not been without challenges. From bureaucratic roadblocks to a lack of proper waste disposal infrastructure, his work highlights both the failures and also the potential of environmental conservation in Nigeria. So today we delve into his journey and the impact of his actions on communities across the country.
Yes, indeed. And so joining us now is Jonathan Olakunle. He's also known as Nigerian Spiderman. Also joining us on the show is Adesola Adegeye. She is an environmentalist, and she also joins us live in the studio. Spiderman, where's your web?
You should be hanging from the
Where's your web?
My web is there. It's for the environment. My web is for the environment.
You're welcome, and you're welcome as well.
Thank you.
Let's start by asking you, first of how you or why you decided to put on a costume that many people know. I mean, Spider-Man is my biggest hero from when I was a kid. And hit the streets, not to save lives. Well, you are saving lives, keeping it clean, to clean the streets of Nigeria. Why?
Yes, thank you so much. I decided to do this because I've started this long time ago, year 2004. I started without a costume by, advocating for a cleaner environment. Raising awareness for a cleaner Nigeria, cleaner environment where I live in. But people didn't really care about what I was doing. They called me different types of names. At some point, they said I'm mad. And I said, when a madman wants a clean environment, definitely no in a country like Nigeria. Go to places where you see mad people. You see them with death. They're all over the street, all over the country. But I wanted a cleaner Nigeria. So I kept doing it passionately, just wanting a cleaner Nigeria until someone called me Spiderman. He called me Spiderman and I said, wow, this is it. I'm going to put on the Spiderman costume. Immediately, I started working on finding the Spiderman costume. Then I called my friend in USA, my brother, and he bought one for me. Then it took 11 months for the Spider-Man costume to arrive. Immediately the Spider-Man costume arrived, I went on to take a photo shoot. The second day, I started raising awareness with it. And here is 4 years now, wearing the costume. About 17 years without a costume.
You're right. I find your story, it runs the same theme with every environmentalist who are passionate about a cleaner environment and just eradicating our streets of refuse and dirt. He was tagged a madman, literally. What are the biggest challenges environmentalists face when it comes to the social biases and the stigmatization in advocating for a cleaner environment?
Okay, thank you. So I'd say for me, because when I newly started, hitting the streets, talking to people about the environment, it was more of people think you're getting something in return. Like, you're being paid, or the government is paying you to do this, or you're benefiting something, oh, where are you taking the plastics to? Oh, they want to reuse it and make money. So that's what people often think, because they don't know the reason, they are not aware of the why, or they don't understand that their own actions actually is impacting the environment negatively. So sometimes you're saying that, okay, there has to be some benefit, because they don't believe you can just wake up and be passionate about a cause that is not maybe directly, especially when you go to like somewhere that is even far from where you live, to maybe advocate or to clean up. So most people will tell you, oh, they're definitely benefiting something, you're gaining something from this, not knowing it's even for themselves, like for you and the people that stay in that environment.
Right.
Yeah, you said that you don't. How do you sustain this? How do people, environmentalists especially, sustain this going out there to make sure that the environment is clean for no pay.
Right.
Do you have something else? Jonathan, do you have something else? What else do you do apart from keeping the environment?
I'm a technician, but I do this more of a full time because of how committed I am to it.
So how do you survive?
I survive with the very little that I have, with support from few friends and family friends.
Very interesting. So you do get what I mean.
I mean, yes, of course I do. So I mean, how I got into this space was, was a bit tricky because I was in school. I actually did engineering. I'm also working as an engineer. And so basically when I was in school, I was a president of a female engineering students. So we had a program then. It was a global recycling. It was approaching. And we're like, what can we do as an organization? And then the organization is called APWEN. And then we decided, okay, let's just go around a portion of the school to pick plastic and recycle it. So we reached out to a recycling company then in University of Illinois, Vic-Ford Recyclers. And then the day came. We just went in less than 1 hour. We picked around, not even entire school, just a portion of the school. And then when we were checking the results, we picked about 1,700 bottles in such a short time. So while I was just wondering how do you have this much and stuff? So I was just making a bit of research, and I found out that plastic is even causing more harm to the environment than we think. I was in school, I was in the university, and I wasn't even aware that it causes this much harm. It doesn't biodegrade, it doesn't rotten. It has a whole lot of things, and so I started, I saw that there was a gap because I was in school. How much more people that weren't in school, how much more people that they've never even seen the four walls of the university. So I decided to bridge that gap by advocating, by telling people about the environment, by telling people, because I was also reading to tell people, because I wasn't aware. So I was also trying to educate myself, trying to know what I could do, trying to, okay, yeah, I can actually reduce my plastic usage. I can use it, instead, and and a whole lot of other things. So that was even from there, because when I was telling people, oh, don't use this plastic, or don't use this, the alternative, they will ask me, where do you get this alternative? They kept on asking me, oh, don't use plastic toothbrush. You can use a bamboo toothbrush. Don't use you can have a reusable bottle instead of buying, every time reusable single-use plastic every time. You can have a reusable bottle instead. And, from there, it also brought the idea of green business, green entrepreneurship. And, talking about how do I survive, what other things do I do? So I'm also into green entrepreneurship, where we promote reusable items, we promote biodegradable, sustainable items. So you find out that many, through my business called EcoBiz Sustainable Solution. You can check us out on Instagram as well. You find some products that you can use instead of plastic.
Now, let me come to Jonathan here. Oh, sorry, Judith.
Yeah.
I got so excited. You were going to answer.
Go ahead. As Spiderman, we're talking about, cleaning the environment and, on all the obstacles and challenges that you faced.
Yes.
In just even donning this identity of Spiderman and your fight for a cleaner environment. Yes. Do you also advocate to the community as well? As a community now change the perception towards you?
Yes, I do more of advocacy this time around. When I go for my environmental education, I make those market women also do the cleaning. I'm not your slave. We all do it together. We all own Nigeria. We all own the environment. So I do the advocacy more than the cleaning. So I tell them, no, the system might be a little bit poor, but we can change the system. And then I try to talk to them that, do they want to go to America? They say, yes, but I say, these are America. We can make Nigeria to become America. So I do a lot, and I do this 7 days a week. Did
you get any support? Is there any, like maybe Lagos State, does Lagos State support you? Does Lagos State Waste Management Agency support?
I live in Oshobo. I've not gotten support from the government, Recently I got a call from the spokesperson to the governor. Okay, a tweet is getting a 15-month plus. I haven't heard from him.
Say that again, please, to be clear.
So he got a tweet. He was tweeted at from the spokesperson of the governor saying that they will reach out.
He will like me to see him. But I found his number, and I called him. He was busy maybe doing the good works of the state, but I can't be pursuing him. I don't know which office to go. But that wouldn't stop me from doing the good work that I want.
And this is a spokesperson of Osun State?
Yes. So I kept doing it. All what I want is that I want a cleaner Nigeria, I want a cleaner Osun State, a cleaner Lagos. We all benefit from those places, and we should also be part of the change matrix. Then, like I said, I want to make this I do more of the advocacy. The policy makers, the Ministry of Environment, they need to step up their game, put a lot of money into the environmental sector, whereas we're the people, we do our very best, everybody. So I tell people, don't drop your waste on the ground. You remain liable for your waste that you generate every day, no matter who you are. If you're a rich man, where does your waste end up? I don't want it to go to the ground. Let it be in the waste bags. Create more waste bin in different places, whereby, you know, if you go here, you can see somewhere. Or if you are drinking your pure water, then you're drinking your pure water, you're about to finish it. Why don't you finish drinking your pure water and dispose it where you bought the pure water, rather than going on the way and dropping inside the gutter? And then I noticed that everybody is dropping their waste into the gutter. And I tell people, the gutter is for water from the rooftop, or, you know, anything, not for waste. Not for waste, for water and for sand. And then everybody should be able to clean the frontage of their house, not the government doing this.
Jonathan, we note that you live and advocate in Osogbo. Yeah. Why are you in Lagos with this?
Yes, I came to push the project. I came to push the project. I believe Lagos is the center of excellence, and this is where it happens more.
So have you gotten any support from the authorities that you've come to meet here in Lagos?
I haven't gotten much, but I got the attention of the Arise News presenters. When I got there, they welcomed me.
They're great colleagues, but yeah, what about the Lagos authorities?
No. Where do you go? They're all busy. Then we work together, interconnect. So coming here is to also tell about my story, what I'm doing. Privately and, you know, collectively, we work together.
Adesola, I have to ask you, he was talking about policies and change and the government itself, and he said that, you know, more money needs to be channeled towards waste management. But Lagos State have done fairly well compared to other states regarding waste management. What's more is left on the table, or what are we not adding to the table?
Okay, so I'd say, well, while Lagos State is kind of leading the change, I must say, but there is need for it to cascade to other states in Nigeria. Like, it takes everyone, all hands need to be on deck, because when climate change effect comes, when the flooding, when the disaster, you know, it affects everybody. It doesn't recognize the rich, it doesn't recognize Lagos State alone, or Osogbo, or, you know, other parts of the country, really. So it affects everyone. So it doesn't segregate climate change, and its effect doesn't segregate who to affect. So there is need for acceptance across all states. Like, the policy should affect everybody, not just Lagos State doing its own thing. It takes everybody. When the effect comes, you hear about flooding, different deforestation. So, you know, we need more programs like afforestation. We need more we need to also build climate resilience buildings. You know, we need to invest more in renewable energy, climate adaptation strategies, really. So there's a whole lot more that still needs to be done, you know, especially reducing our dependence on fossil fuels, and, you know, a whole lot more, really. And it needs to cascade to other states in the country.
And saying that, right, means money.
Absolutely.
A lot of money.
Absolutely.
Do you think that's the reluctancy why we don't see this much concerted of efforts into, you know, with full throttle change in terms of climate change and, you know, waste management?
So I'd say we have the money. There is money. We're just not channeling it into, like, the right space, because you find people are investing heavily in fossil fuels, things that damage the environment. So how? Because of profit. So we need to take cognizance of the 3 Ps. So people, profit as well, and the planet. So all 3 needs to work together. We need to harmonize. We're not just going about, you know, profit. I want to make profit, then I maybe do this area, I pollute, so I do all sorts, even, you know, and damage the marine lives and all of that, and damage the ocean because I want to get profit. You know, it's not just about profit. You should take cognizance of the people as well, the environment, the planet. So you need to harmonize all 3 Ps together, and yeah.
Harmony is good.
Harmony is good, indeed.
Let me already say thank you very much, Ms. Adegeye.
Adegeye.
Yeah, there you go, Adegeye. And of course, Jonathan, Olakunle, for coming through. Jonathan,
Nigerian Spiderman.
yeah, the Nigerian Spiderman. I think listening to you tell that story in the beginning shows how much passion that you have for what you're doing. I can tell that it's not because you have a selfish reason.
Yes.
You want to say something?
I want to say something. We need to break our community from the world. If you can tackle our environment from the world level, if you have a councillor that takes care of his or her wards, then you want your wards to be clean. Then you move on to the local government. Then move on to the state, then the federal. We all have a cleaner society.
You have this all written and worked out. You know exactly how it's going to
Because it's
help.
Spider-Man.
I'm doing that.
Spider-Man, of course.
Doing that.
I mean, a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, Nigerian Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And if I can, hopefully, I'm going to definitely try my best to also do exactly what you said.
Wow.
Don't drink your pure water in motion.
Yes.
Finish it up.
Finish it
And
up.
And
also, let's advocate that if you're selling these things, you should have a little bin where
Or
you
in
can
nylon
dispose.
bags.
Different places.
I think you can even like keep it till you find a proper place to dispose. We don't have a place to dispose.
And if you cannot afford to buy a waste bin, you could find a carton. You could find, you could. There are baskets that are being used to pack
great
tomatoes.
that you worked this out.
You could find
Jonathan.
those baskets
Yeah.
and design
Dispose
it with
things
wrapping
from in there.
paper or wrapping sack and turn it into your waste bin.
Be like me and have
Jonathan.
those CP cup and always take your water.
Thank you,
Exactly.
Jonathan.
Exactly.
And thank you, Ms. Adegeye.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
the-
so much.
Thank you.
Do stay.